Well, quite seismic news today. I see that Ireland, for the first time in over 120 years, has a lower birth rate than the UK. It's quite incredible. It's a real turnaround for the books. Ireland's total fertility rate is for 2021 is 1.5 children per woman. Now, in the 60s and 70s in Ireland, the average woman had 4 children. The first article I wrote for the national press, which is 20 years ago, I remember the fertility rate was just bang on replacement level, which is 2.1. So in 20 years, it's fallen from replacement level to basically 1.5 per woman. And it's fallen 25% in the last decade. That's incredible, really. It's a massive fall. I suppose it is a consequence. How did we get? We've got to ask, how did we get here, and how do we get out of here? First thing we'll talk about is why a country and a nation having children is very important. Because without children, no country has a future. And children are the means by which we pass on, one, our genes, two, our hopes, then our culture, how we pass on life itself. It's through children. And so no country can have a future without children. And that's why the Irish Freedom Party is a pro-natalist party, which is in favour of childbirth and encouraging and in helping young couples to get married, have children, and raise them up in their own Irish culture. In economics and in warfare, demographics is very important. They say that demographics is destiny. It tells you about the future. It's necessary for economics and in warfare to have children because success in both those depends on education, technology, children, and also the will to win is very, very important. How have we got here? Well, I think having a culture saturated by the influence of childless feminists and also homosexuals, both of whom have no children, who have all the sex but no children. They're sexually frustrated. Either they can't have or they won't have children. They're sexually frustrated in regards to homosexuals, like the homosexual or genital activity is inherently sterile. They don't give the good of children to society. And that's why it's very important that we will make clear, the Irish Freedom Party, that we will support young couples to have children. We will financially support through child benefit and other means couples who want to get married and have children, and because they give the benefit of children to society, that society must help young couples who are going to have children. Europe in general has a problem in that politically so many of the political leaders in Europe at the moment are childless. The consequence of that is they don't have a sense of urgency of what the future holds, because they have no children, they have no skin in the game, so to speak, have they? But people with children and skin in the game, they really are orientated towards what our future world will be like. So I was at a demographic conference in Budapest recently in Hungary. It was a very positive experience. Central Europe has really wakened up to the demographic time bomb that is taking place in Western Europe especially, and is looking to reorientate its completely its political and economic culture towards the encouragement of having more children. I used to make the joke, I know it's a little bit crude, but I used to make the joke in the European Parliament among people who used to work with, that the political group on the right, which we always had the words like freedom, democracy, identity, whatever, in the in the title that maybe we should just call it easy to remember, FFF, Fuck for Freedom. That we should encourage fecundity. We should encourage young couples to have children. Ireland needs that. And we are entering into a demographic winter. We have to change direction of the ship of state around 180 degrees to move from a anti-family, anti-life orientation. We've got to move that ship of state around completely to make sure that our culture and our political environment is pro-family, pro-children, and that Ireland has a future. At the moment, on the current trajectory, Ireland is coming towards an end. It may not be tomorrow, it may be in a few generations' time, but with a birth rate of 1.5, when it's even lower than Britain, we've got to wake up, smell the coffee, and do something about it. So, the Irish Freedom Party will reorientate the economy and our culture towards a pro-family, pro-natalist position to encourage young couples to have children and give Ireland children and give Ireland a future. My name is Hermann Kelly. I'm president of the Irish Freedom Party. Go Roma Agatsa.